Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I have some time and so I decided I was going to try and film a few videos. And this one is, I just want to sort of give a disclaimer at the beginning of this one. I don't want anybody to take this as medical advice. This is solely pertaining to me and the information that my doctors have given me. I don't want anybody to reference this video as to help them make their own decision in whether they want to receive the COVID vaccine, because that's what this video is going to be about. Also, I am not an anti-vaxxer by any stretch of the imagination. Um, you know, I am fully encouraging everybody to get vaccinated that is healthy and that can get vaccinated. But I just want to clarify those two things because I don't want anybody referencing this video and saying, oh, I saw somebody on YouTube saying that the vaccine was dangerous or something. So I have been faced with this decision now that the vaccine is actually open to chronically ill people or people with underlying conditions. I have had to sort of make a decision. Obviously, the decision can change in the future. The vaccine is now available to my population. And once it opens up to your population, it seems to open up for good. And I think by May, there will be vaccines available to everybody. So it's becoming less of a kind of this stressful thing where who's going to get the vaccine, who can get it, who can't get it. But I did make the decision to not get the vaccine right now. I spoke to several of my doctors. I'm not sure if I touched on this in a previous video. I may have mentioned it here and there, but I don't think I went in depth with it. I have several doctors, and I've asked each and every one for their opinion. Even doctors that aren't my regular doctors, like an urgent care doctor, I'll go in there and I'll ask them for their opinion as well. It does seem that at this point, because I did have one doctor that told me absolutely not, and she has since changed her view on that. They all seem to be leaning towards, yeah, you should get the vaccine, but it isn't without risks for me specifically, because I have an autoimmune illness, because I have histamine issues and mast cell issues. Obviously, there is that chance of having an allergic reaction. I've never had an allergic reaction to a vaccine before, but I also have not had a vaccine since I was probably a kid. So it's been a really long time. And my body has obviously changed a lot since then. One doctor did tell me, because of my autoimmune issues, that it is possible that the vaccine could make my autoimmune symptoms a bit worse. I did read online, and again, I'm not saying that that's not a good thing. It's not a good thing to look online for your information. It's always good to ask your own doctor. But I did look online, and I guess there is some, I don't have multiple sclerosis, but there is some concern with people that have MS, whether the vaccine could cause a relapse. And again, there's still not enough information. I just feel like generally there is not enough information for those of us with underlying conditions, particularly autoimmune illnesses. But like I said, most of my doctors are leaning in the, you should just get it direction. I decided not to, because I had a very strange incident lately. And I may have touched on this, in some of my other videos. I'm very sensitive to everything. I have not had a serious allergic reaction to anything, but I am sensitive in the sense that, things that really shouldn't upset my stomach will upset my stomach, or mess with my digestive system. My skin is very, very sensitive to things that, I just would never think it would be sensitive to. You know, my neurological condition seems to sort of fluctuate as well. And sometimes I don't really know what it is that's causing the fluctuation. Weather can cause it. That we're going through kind of a little bit of a heat wave here in Los Angeles. And I notice that makes me, more tired, and my light sensitivity gets worse. It's all these little things. And I had a recent incident where my mom was cooking hot wings, and this sounds just so absolutely ridiculous. I didn't eat the hot wings. I can't have hot wings. I can't have anything, it's heavily seasoned or anything like that. But I could smell it. And I was smelling sort of this scent of vinegar penetrating the house. And it was just driving me nuts because my sense of smell really isn't that great. But I could smell it like very, very strongly. I start sneezing and sneezing and sneezing. It was just really bizarre. This was on Sunday. By Monday night, I was having sinus problems, post nasal drip type of situation, and obviously I got pretty scared because I haven't been sick since 2016, and we're going through a pandemic right now. The only thing that kind of kept me calm was the fact that I could smell everything. I could smell I could smell even things that I just never could. My sense of smell was so intense. So when I look at things like that, where I'm reacting to a smell, um, it makes me concerned because a vaccine is actually going into my body, and there are already a lot of issues in there. Um, if you're perfectly healthy, you have a normal immune system, you should be fine. Um, Everybody in my family has gotten the vaccine, and from what I've seen, they haven't had reactions to it. Even the same way that they've had reactions to the flu vaccine in the past. Um, they didn't really feel anything. So I know that the vaccine is generally safe. One of my doctors did tell me, she gave me sort of a protocol to follow if I do choose to get the vaccine. And that can also be very tricky because I have to sort of pre medicate, almost like I do with my other medication. I have to pre medicate beforehand with a steroid and an antihistamine. And I also have issues with steroids because I have taken steroids in the past as a pre medication. And that also caused a pretty big issue for me for a while, for probably a couple of years. So I'm not thrilled about the thought of having to take steroids or having to pre medicate twice because it's, two vaccines. Um, so all of these things, it's very, very tricky when you're sensitive and when you react to everything. So I just decided, I said, you know what, I just have to be really careful, but I need to just kind of leave it alone right now. I know that, there's another topic that I kind of want to touch on my channel, but I'll just kind of, I guess, preview it a little bit here. I also do weigh the decision based on my current situation in life. I have no kids. I'm not married. I don't have a partner. I don't have a job. I don't have all these things. And, sometimes I think you kind of need to look at all of that, got to write down the pros and the cons and say, well, if I were to get sick, if I were to end up in the hospital, if I were to die, I don't, I don't want to say it's not a huge loss. I'm not going to be leaving behind kids, and, I'm not going to, nobody's going to be losing an income because I'm gone. And I think not having those responsibilities doesn't tie you down. You don't make decisions based on the fact that you have children. You make the decisions based on, what you want or what you feel is best for you. There's that, and then of course, the thought that if I do get the vaccine and my condition worsens, even if it worsens a little bit, say like my fatigue gets worse, I don't feel like I have the level of assistance at home that I would need in order to sort of survive here. I wouldn't have someone, bringing me breakfast in bed or anything like that. Like I don't want to make my condition even a little bit a little bit worse. That didn't make sense because I don't have that kind of support here. So you kind of have to weigh the pros and cons. Yes, I could end up in the hospital. I could also end up just having a mild or moderate case of COVID and recover. Or I can get the vaccine and my condition can worsen, and it's going to be a lot harder because I'm going to need more assistance than I already do. So there are a lot of those things to consider. And I think for me, it just doesn't make sense right now to do that. Could I change my mind in a few months when there's more information, when I start maybe um, hearing from people that have autoimmune illnesses and their experiences? Then yeah, I may change my tune. But for right now, given recent events, I just don't feel well, and I don't feel well enough either physically. Like my body is just, it seems to be more unpredictable. I'm not as, I guess I'm not as sick as I was a couple years ago, but I am more unpredictable, which is kind of, it's sort of a strange um, trade-off where, I am kind of better, but I also never know what's going to happen, in a few months. So a vaccine is just going to throw another, another factor in there, and it's going to be like, well, is this from the vaccine or is this just my usual issues? So, like I said, that's my decision for now. I don't want anybody taking this as medical advice. You need to talk to your own doctors, and I arrived at this conclusion because of all the information that my doctors gave me. And like I said, I spoke to I think 5 or 6 doctors about this situation, and they all gave me their opinion. I still need to kind of reconnect with some of my doctors because I saw one in December and I don't see him again until June. So I need to touch bases with him and see if he's changed his mind as well, at this point. Um, but, I did have one doctor that told me, look, there's no rush. We're getting vaccines now. The supply of vaccines is growing. There's not going to be a shortage. If you need it at one point and you decide to get it, you'll be able to get it right away. So at the very least, I have that, in my corner. So I just wanted to touch on that. I want you guys to just talk to your doctors. I am not anti-vax. I'm very happy that everybody in my family has gotten it, because that will probably, offer a level of protection for me as well. And like I said, everybody that has gotten it has been fine. So that's all I got for today. I will try to come out with a few more videos, and yeah, so I'll see you soon.